Hi, welcome to the Investor Chat podcast. My name is Irina Del Cid. I'm the guest on this episode. I have Jeremy and Nick with me.
I love it.
Oh, that was perfect.
That
Thank
was
you.
very good. Thank you. Hey, Irina, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
Doing very well. Hey, thank you
great.
again for joining us on this episode today. So, quick little backstory. I've had a few conversations with Irina on Instagram, just kind of back and forth about investing stuff, and we thought we would get you on the podcast to talk about your house hacking journey.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
House hacking is so underrated. Tell us how you started.
sure. So my journey actually started 2018. I got, what they called interest by the bug of real estate investing.
Yeah.
I was in a relationship back then. I was married at the time, and I remember reading this book about real estate investing out of state from David Green. And I
Okay.
read the whole book. I used to work in Denver, lived in Denver, so I'll take the light rail. So in between that hour commute back and forth every day, I'll read the book. And I was like, I came home one night and I was like, oh, we got to do this. And by the time the partner said, no, he was not interested. You do it on your own. And years later, that relationship solved. And I was like, this is the time for me to do it.
Yeah.
And I went ahead alone. And it felt like it was kind of scary, but at that time I connected with Chris Lopez, which I deem like as my mentor.
Mhm.
And he was the house hacker master. He had a book with Jeff White.
Okay.
And I deem him a coach. And so any questions I had, I would relay upon them. And that's how I started the journey of house hacking.
Nice.
Nice. So did you and your ex own a home together?
We did. So we had
Okay.
a home. I was always interested in buying a house and a property, so I owned the home at first. Not owned. So we bought it together. And at that time of, divorce, and we split apart, and, I just decided to go on my own.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
So you said Chris Lopez is like the master of house hacking. Hopefully Craig Kirloff's not listening because he's going to have a little word about that, I think.
Listen, I
He's not
learned
listening.
about,
Nobody's listening to this.
I learned about Chris Lopez back before he was like all big. Like I'm
Okay.
telling you, he had his classes.
Mhm.
And this is before when, Bigger Pockets was it was a huge thing back
Oh,
then.
yeah.
But I just Google, and I Google like meetups and classes that will have real estate investing. And I kid you not, I still go to the same class I went this year too. They will have a class,
Mhm.
and Chris Lopez will have like a deal analysis, and he will like literally teach the people how to do this class. And
Nice.
I remember it from 2018, and so I was like, I cannot, believe that 5 years later, I got to do my house hacking by my own. So yeah,
How fun.
yeah.
Okay. So Chris kind of took you under his wing and you started doing house hacking. Um, can you tell us about the first property that you purchased that you
Sure.
actually house hacked?
Sure. So this one is in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado.
Mhm.
I I was blessed enough to also be part of the program of first time home buyer,
Yeah,
because at the time, after several years, you get to be a first time home buyer again.
sure.
And so I bought a property that I added value to. So it's a 3-bedroom house
Mhm.
with 2 bathrooms, and I converted it into a 4-bedroom house. And that's
Okay.
with the help of Jeff. Jeff came over. We like measured the whole like garden level because it's a
Mhm.
triple house, by the way. And he said, Edina, I think you can split this in two and get double the income. And I was like, done. I can do this. And
Yeah.
so I learned about project management, contracting, and the whole deal. And I can go into details on what I did after, within
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
plan.
please do.
Yeah, I mean, talk about whatever you want. Like the whole point is like we want to know like how people do this and how they can do it as well. So like
Sure.
obviously you took a 3-bedroom house and you Frankensteined it a little bit and you turned it into a 4-bedroom house, correct?
Yes.
So you
So
got
the
a
level up,
fourplex.
it was the whole house. Like
Okay.
think about it like a furnished basement,
Mhm.
a very long room.
Okay.
It's divided into two, and I added like two doors
Mhm.
in the wall that divided it. And I started looking into niches too as well, because I was
Mhm.
thinking about who will my not instead of my buyer, but who my rental would be.
Yeah.
And so I went to Furnished Finders and I looked at this 29-page e-file they have for free.
Mhm.
And I literally highlighted the items that individuals were looking for travel nurses or medical students. And I looked around the areas where I wanted to buy the house. So
Gotcha.
I did just 3 components before I decided to like divide the house. And, like,
Sure.
so once I divided it, I was like, okay, these are all going to be furnished property, like rooms, I should say. And I rented each room. and I lived
Mhm.
in the room. So that's part of the house hacking element. Um, and I'm going all over this place.
No, that's
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And so at that point, the first step was to get the house in the location I wanted to.
Hmm.
So again, by reading the book and then with the guide of Chris, I said I wanted a location where I can be close to the airport.
Smart.
My house was like 23 minutes from the Denver, the DIA airport,
Yeah.
and then 4.3 miles from the hospital.
Nice. Okay, so it was a centralized location that was close to the hospitals and the airport.
Correct.
That's a really good. I mean, that sounds like good analytics to me.
Yeah.
Um, what else did you look for? So obviously, with furnish finders, I think you're talking about like, do you do midterm rentals out of your house hack?
Mhm. For
Yeah.
3 years. For 3 years at midterm.
How long were your leases?
It it ran from like 3 months. So
Okay.
the one thing I learned about the travel nurses is that they do 13-week contracts
Okay.
and they can extend it. So
Yeah.
it went from like 13 weeks, like sometimes like that's 3 months,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to 6 months, 9 months.
Do you mind explaining what is a midterm rental for
Sure.
those that may not know?
Yeah, midterm rental is like the middle child of real estate investing strategies, you want to call
We
that?
understand,
Yeah.
middle child.
We're both middle childs.
We are.
So there's short-term rentals. Those are the ones that are less than 30 days. So
Mhm.
those are the ones that are high-pocketed in Airbnbs, Vermo, you call it. Those are the ones that are sometimes like the areas where there's high tourism per
Sure.
se.
Yeah.
What
So
do you
more
call
of a nightly thing, like a hotel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the long-term rentals are the ones that are like 12 years or more. I mean, 12 months or
Sure.
more, I should say. And so those are predominantly sometimes like families will stay in one place in one location, growing families or even new families will stay in that pocket. The
Mhm.
midterm rental is where you get longer than 30 days and less
Okay.
than 2 months. So the middle child.
Yeah, for sure. And just to kind of clarify on these like midterm rentals, obviously, like the people you were chasing were like your traveling nurses, like you're saying, correct?
Yeah, I started with a niche.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
want to get travel nurses and
Hmm.
flight attendants. And when I looked at the location, I also saw the Amazon warehouse was building.
Okay.
So within the next
Nice.
few days, like I can like shift it to long-term rental, which is what I did this year.
Gotcha. Do you
Yeah,
still own that property then?
I still own that property.
Okay, perfect. So you didn't sell. I know just following your journey, you just recently moved, correct?
I recently moved up. I'm house hacking this property that you see in the back.
How fun. Okay, so you're double house hacking. So you're house hacking your first one. Is that one still a rent by the room scenario?
No, that's a long-term rental.
Awesome.
Friends came together and then again for the market, the job market that I was telling you about,
Yeah.
they live nearby. And so
Okay.
they live together.
Cool. Well, can we talk about a couple numbers on your first deal as well? I'm not sure exactly what the Denver real estate market is. Up here in North Idaho, it's just crazy, of course. I'm not sure if it's comparable down there.
Slightly comparable. I think Denver is more expensive.
Yeah.
In general, probably a
Yeah.
little bit more demand.
Yeah.
But yeah. What did you, if you don't mind sharing, what did you initially pay for that first house, and is there a mortgage on it, and then how much income are you making?
Sure. So I paid for 29,000,
Okay.
Okay.
29,000, I
Hmm.
should say. For the down payment, I put, I think 17,000.
Okay.
And then,
17.
yeah. And
Because
then
you're an FHA, right? That's what you're saying.
So
yeah,
is that
Awesome.
3.5% down?
3.5%.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think I spent another, give or take, $5,000 on the whole renovation.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah. So that's just adding the walls and stuff, and then
Sure.
the furniture too as well. So one of the tricks I will give people is do not underestimate Facebook Marketplace because I got most of my furniture there.
Nice.
And I'm like a DIY girl, so I
Yeah.
do things my own.
I don't think
Um,
I've ever staged a house for less than $7,500 or, furnished a
Yeah.
house.
yeah,
You're a Lowe's and Amazon guy, though. You weren't like
Lowe's
going
and
on
Costco.
in
And
Costco. Yeah.
yeah,
Costco's a big
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I don't get good deals.
We live and learn, though. Whatever, man. Like, it all ends up working out. So you bought it for what? I'm sorry,
429.
429. Okay. And right now it's currently rented out. How much are you renting it out for?
390. So
390.
3,090.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're
Wow, $3,000 a month.
yeah.
Nice.
What's your mortgage on that thing?
2,200.
Great,
Okay, so you're cash flowing.
great.
Right on.
Do you self?
With an FHA loan, that's not bad.
I still, I don't know if I should say the interest rate because I think I will get like what is it called? Hey,
Yeah.
yeah,
So when you moved out, did you you kept the FHA loan on that house, and then you got a different loan on this house you're currently living in?
yes. On this one I did. So same principle since I rented the house
Hmm.
term because it's a big thing. Like you have to like moved out of that first house to
Yep.
because this your residence.
Yep.
So you can still apply for the 5% or the FHA loan or
Yeah.
conventional. If that's the case. Um, since since I bought the first house, which 2022, the
Okay.
market has shifted, right? The interest rates have gone had
Yep.
doubled, and
Good.
so so I had to learn how to, do the pivot thing and learn like how not just learn, but like think about the mindset of like if this I'm gonna do a house hacking again, I got to work with what I have,
Yep.
and
That's a
so
really good mindset to have, to be honest with you. Like, I think a lot of people get out of the business, like specifically with interest rates high. They're just like, oh, I can't afford it. I've even been there before. Like, hey, I can't afford it right now. It seems like you're just making moves no matter what, and that's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing for me was like looking for a property that it will double as also a house for me and my mother.
Yeah.
And I even deemed it, I was like, this is going to be the Golden Girls house hack house.
Okay.
My mom's
Nice.
living it, and then retired individuals are going to live with her. And
You're gonna have
so
a whole bunch of old ladies living with you.
the Golden Girl, yeah. You know
That
what?
sounds like
Yeah.
the most like least stressful rental I've ever heard of.
You know what is also is ideal now because I know baby boomers in this generation is going to retirement. And
Uh-huh.
one of the biggest things I learned, again, learn about not just the house hacking aspect, but also how the culture is shifting.
Hmm.
There are more individuals, living with multi-generational households.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot of individuals don't want to live alone. They want to live with the community. And so I
Yeah.
was like, if you can bring your friends or you can have people like share the same common values and, help one another live in a very nice community and well, just why not house hack it? So,
How fun.
yeah,
That's super cool.
yeah.
So I'm going to take just a couple steps back here real quick. Obviously, I know we talked a little bit about before the show. You are a female house hacker, and I just kind of want to talk about the what to do and what not to do in these situations. I think a lot of people like it's terrifying being a female. It's honestly terrifying being just.
Jeremy knows.
I know. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just like realistically, like I think people there's a tendency to think that people could like take advantage of you or whatever it is. How do you combat this kind of mindset, and how do you find good tenants or good renters to live with you? Like, what's your process on that?
She lifts
Sounds
weights.
good. Yes, that too. I
Yep,
do.
that too.
But it's a good mind. I think it starts with setting up boundaries and criterias.
Hmm.
That was the biggest thing. At first, I remember I had the house, it was fully furnished, and I had to take the lead. And
Yep.
the biggest thing was for me how to screen tenants.
Yep.
And I remember resorting back to Jeff White, and bless his heart, he might see this podcast one day, and he'd be like, "Yes, she did." I would
Yep.
call him and text it and be like, "Hey, like, what would I do if this?" And so he was very patient. He would give me like an instruction. I still have the notebook with me about how to screen a tenant. And
Nice.
one of the key elements they taught me was with Chris Lopez, as well as like since I was a female and I was inside the property,
Hmm.
there is a law that I wouldn't say protect me, but guides me within the guidelines that I can just rent to females if I wanted to.
Okay. Yep.
I didn't deviate from that criteria, but at first I was like, okay, let me start just with females,
Yep.
and then I started with travel nurses and medical students,
Okay.
all females, and so I wouldn't say be selective in that way, but that's the criteria I used at first.
Yeah.
Um, And then after, since they were midterm rentals, I was like, well, let me just open the pool a little bit and see what would it work.
Yeah.
And I still followed the criteria of the credit score, the background check, the criminal record, everything that guided me through that first screening process. I
Hmm.
did the same with other individuals. And so that opened out the window. And that's the biggest thing about being a female house hacker. Like you can definitely have your own set of criteria in a way that can help you
Yeah.
select the screening process. And then you can still live with females as long as you live inside the property.
Gotcha.
Once you move out, like I just did now, it was
Yep.
fair housing.
That makes
Yeah,
sense because I was going to say fair housing rules kind of come into play with some of that if you are outside of the area, right? So if you're not living in the house, it's whoever is qualified and fits your criteria can rent, correct? But
correct.
since you were living in it, you got to actually choose who your roommates were, correct?
Correct. And
Very
part of the
cool.
screening process that helped me being a female was I would interview these individuals and
Hmm.
ask, these are the boundaries or the house rules.
Yeah.
I'm very clean. You got to be clean. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
babysit you. So no smoking would be one of the criteria. So
Yeah.
it guided me through the process of setting these so-called boundaries, same as friendships,
Yeah.
same principle. So it helped me in a way. While I was living inside the house, like
Sure.
now it's a different
Did you
criteria.
end up creating any friendships with any of these ladies, or was it strictly business?
Oh, yeah, some of them, I still have I still follow them on Instagram. They follow my journey even through this house hacking project.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, after 3 years, they still follow me on Instagram. I made friendships, and
Yeah.
I still have them, dear my heart, so
Man, it's such a wild world. My daughter, she wants to be a tattoo artist, and this is a little off the rails, but I'm going to tell the story anyway. So we went to a tattoo artist and just said like, hey, what to expect at a tattoo shop? The guy said specifically, he's like, don't go to an all female tattoo shop because they're combative, unfortunately, and when business isn't there, they sabotage each other's equipment and stuff. And just he said that's not the best way to do business because they have this almost toxic culture in there,
yeah.
unfortunately.
But
um
this was coming from a guy.
this is coming from a guy, correct? But like
So,
it was still an interesting to hear that, right? Like
yeah.
because Ari was like, oh yeah, I should go to an all-female tattoo school, and he's like, just be careful, this is what I'd look out for. And
Do you think
What
there's any logic in that?
I was gonna say, what I have found in my journey, some of it may be true, but some of it depends on what common values you share.
right.
Yeah.
Like, the
Everybody's
individuals
different.
that had a housemate, I like to be called housemate, not
Yeah.
roommates, just a house. They were working towards a goal, same as I did. So
That's
one
good.
one of them lived with me for 2 years, you know? She would renew it every 6 months, and she was studying to be she was a medical student, and
Mhm.
she graduated in my house. Another female 3 of them actually got engaged in my house, so it was like it became like a house, like, full of love, and I
Yeah.
think because they were working towards some goals, like and you can quickly tell, I think I became more I wanna say proficient, but you can quickly tell when you talk to somebody if they're comfortable sharing their goals,
Yeah.
and I even opened it, like, I had within the 3 years, I had 11 tenants. 3 of
Okay.
them were male, 'cause I got 3 male ones,
Hmm.
and they were fine. I had to open it to the girls and say, "Hey" the ladies,
Yep.
like, be like, "Hey, are you open to have, a male travel nurse?"
Yeah.
And let me tell you, these people are the best, the flight attendants, medical students, and travel nurses, because they do work. They
Yeah.
work on their skills, and they work on what they have to do, and they're barely home all the time, so
It's a cool niche to be in because, like you said, like I think these people, specifically travel nurses, like generally one would think they're clean. Just being a nurse and having to sterilize all their equipment and being in like clean environments all day, you would think they would like bring that into their house as well.
Is that true?
it is true.
Oh, okay.
Also, they very isolated, they just go back home to, like, just not home, to the house, to
Sure.
just sleep and rest.
Are there any tips that you have if somebody is wanting to also attract travel nurses that you can do to your properties to make them more attractive, like
Yes.
block out shade blinds or whatever they're called? Are things like that really important?
Yeah, so one of the things, well, 3 things I got from that 29-page ebook that I was telling you about from Furnish Finders,
Hmm.
um, was that they want amenities. One of them is, like, they wanna have a washer and dryer,
Yep.
so
Okay,
that's accessible to them.
sounds reasonable.
Yep.
I want to do
Yes.
my laundry.
Yeah. Uh,
Hey, quick commercial break here. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I really do appreciate it. If you want to give back, let me help you buy a house, or I can help you sell a house. It's the only way I make money when I'm not investing in real estate. I don't make money on this podcast or the events I do, but I do make money only when I help people buy and sell houses. So if you're looking for your next investment and you're here in North Idaho, I want to help you personally. If you are not in North Idaho, I can still help you out. I have a vast network of referral partners all across the country, and I can find the right real estate investor savvy agent for you so you don't have to. It doesn't cost you a thing. Thank you for your support. Back to the show.
Another one is like the shades is not as much as like if they want it to be darker, as much as like the room has to be furnished
Okay.
Sure.
and TVs in the room. So each one of the rooms had their own TV,
Uh-huh.
no TV in the living room whatsoever.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was more like a board hangout place, you know? Another key element for me was since I have 4 people living with me, I got another fridge, one in the garage and one inside.
Nice.
So they
Oh,
can
that way everybody can have their food. Yeah.
yes, and they can
That's a
store
good
it and
point.
have it in secure areas. So I had cameras installed like in the corner, the garage, the front door.
Nice.
They just want to be secure.
Is there a lot of crime in Denver?
It depends on the areas, I think. Also, it changes from well, I moved to Denver in 2014 till
Sure.
now, so it must have like changed. And it happens with, when there's a growth in a city,
hmm
you
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
Um,
big cities typically have big crime. That just the more people there are, the more highly there is to be crime. That's how it goes, unfortunately. But have you ever had any break-ins in any of your houses or anything traumatically go wrong on any of your rental situations?
well, not a break-in, but one of the housemates' car got stolen. It
Oh
got
wow,
recovered though within a week or within 3 days or not, but like
gotcha.
that's the incident I got.
How does that happen?
It's a good thing we had cameras and people around us had camera. I think is from the looks of it, it was from the camera. It looked like kids just wanted to
Oh,
go
okay.
hang out, broke into the car.
Dang kids.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's always kids.
yeah. This was kids. I was surprised. Like nothing happened to the car. Nothing happened to her. I was so glad that
It's not
Um,
usually grandma stealing
Yeah, I was gonna say
kids.
those golden girls that she's living with now probably aren't breaking into cars. I'm betting.
no, no. I think
Not on the weekdays.
yeah.
Bingo on
But
the weekdays. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
well, I think like I mean now that like it was very stressful at the moment. I was able to do everything with her. I even worked with her. I was like, hey, I know rent is coming due. I think it was due within a couple of days, and I was like, just don't make. I was making sure that she was okay,
Yeah,
and then she had reliable transportation. So I offered to bring her back, to because she was a flight attendant, by the way.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
for her to bring her back and forth from her job, and work with police report and everything else. And
yeah.
so again, they found the car very quickly, and I
That's
think
really awesome and noble of you. I think it's like, in your position, you have to be firm but gentle with your tenants, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're just, cracking down on them all the time, where's rent? Like people aren't going to want to live with you. You've obviously created an atmosphere where people enjoy living.
So how do you collect rent from people that you currently live with? Like, do you
sure.
knock on their door and like, hey, it's time to give me cash, or is there like, do they deposit into a bank, or is it automatically come out of their checking? Like, how do you set it up to where it's not awkward
Yeah.
getting money from people you live with?
Sure. No, these are great questions, and this is why I love systems. I use TurboTenant. I use their lease process. I use their payment. TurboTenant has a system where they even remind them
It's called
that
TurboTenant.
yeah,
Okay,
TurboTenant.
Okay.
Um,
gotcha.
yeah, and so I pay a membership, and so that's where I use my screening as well.
hmm
Everything gets
Gotcha.
collected. I use their lease software program, and they remind them of when the payment is due, and then I just get emails when it says rent is paid or rent is deposited to your account.
How much does something like that cost?
My membership, I think, is 150 a year.
A year. Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's around $10 a month,
Yeah,
have a software that does all of your, not just collecting rent, but it also keeps track of your leases and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
correct.
Pretty good.
What else does it do
It helps me with the screening.
with the screening? Okay, background
Yeah,
checks and stuff.
run checks, credit
Okay.
checks. Everything is uploaded into their cloud, like their IDs and everything. I can verify pay
Cool.
stubs and everything else.
Have you ever screened somebody and had to be like, "Oh, sorry, you can't live here"?
Yeah, I've had. Um,
Like like a sex offender thing came up or something on their background or anything weird?
I don't know if I should share that, but like, no, they just didn't qualify for the criterias,
Yeah. Okay.
in terms of the credit score. Nothing, nothing, what, nothing like that so far.
Right.
Um, and I think also it comes from the beginning, like how you market your listing.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we have now, which it wasn't so prominent back in 2022, we have ChatGPT or Gemini, which
Yeah.
is what I
Yeah.
use for Google. I go to Google and say, "Hey, these are the pictures. I want to list this property. It's a 4-bedroom, blah 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 blah." And then these are the criteria, and I post it on the listing. So when they go click on the listing, they see the criteria. So
Oh,
some of them
good.
they do know. Some of them are really open and share with you and said, "Hey, my credit score is not that good." From the beginning, even before applying,
Sure.
if they highly interested, they would tell you.
Have you made any exceptions for people that did not meet your criteria?
I
Like if
have
somebody gave you a sob story and they were saying like, "Oh, my credit's not good," or "Oh, I don't have any cash," did you still allow them to move in, or were you kind of like, "I'm sorry, you have to meet your criteria" type of thing?
It's not want to say I'm sorry, but I was wanted to be fair. I
Sure.
was like, "Okay, this is the criteria," and I would. It's not that I wouldn't budge, but it would be like these are the boundaries again.
Yeah.
Going into a business, I just wanted to protect me and them.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
there's a difference where like going back to my friends because she's a friend now.
Yep.
Yeah, thing what happened with the car. I said, "Do not pay me rent now. Let's get your car first, and then we figure it out about the rent as we go." Um, but she was already in the house for I don't know, I think 4 months at that time. Or
Gotcha.
yeah, so I already knew her, payment history, and I know life happens
Yeah.
for sure. But I think being this my first house hacking property, I thought I wanted to make sure that I have my set criterias and do not deviate from those.
Yeah. That's good too, because I
Hmm.
think at that point, if you start deviating, you start like the Fair Housing Act or whatever, it kind of bends a little bit. Like if you're deviating from your criteria, if they say anything like, well, they let these people in without doing it, when does it become fair and when does it become not? Have you had to evict anybody?
Not gonna let no.
Knock on wood, no? Okay. Well, I think you should learn how to do it. Not, it's terrible. It's not that bad.
I had a
No,
It's
I
situation,
not
have
that
but
attorneys to do that.
yeah.
yeah, I had a situation, and that was more like a different story. It was a friend who was living
Mhm.
with me,
Yep.
um, which I learned not to mix like business with friendships.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was a different story, so I won't get too much detail in it. But I just had to ask nicely, "Hey, this is not working out," but no
Yeah.
eviction whatsoever.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay,
Right.
so that house is stable right now, and you moved into a new house with your mom. Are you planning on again? You're gonna fourplex this one, or you're going to break this into a room by room rent as well?
Room by room,
Room by
yes.
room. Okay.
So this is the property I'm in right now with
Hmm.
the nice wallpaper.
I love the wallpaper, by the way. I was gonna say that.
Yeah. I installed the wallpaper the way. I It's a 3-bedroom house
Hmm.
with 2.5 bathrooms. Um, Townhouse, I should say townhouse.
Townhouse, nice.
Cool.
Yes.
Like a
And it's
2-story.
2-story house, yes.
Yeah.
With the full kitchen, laundry,
Nice.
and uh, living room space area.
Is
It's
this in the Denver area?
this isn't. Oh, I forgot to say, I moved to Georgia.
You moved
Oh,
to Georgia. Oh, okay.
Yes,
What part
yes.
of Georgia?
Conyers,
Okay. Is that south of Atlanta?
southeast of Atlanta.
Southeast. Okay.
how did
So
you know that?
I think I drove through it.
Okay.
I remember seeing that sign.
I'm like, did you just pull like Atlanta
No,
out of
it's
your
a few-
butt in a direction? Like, because that's the only
No,
thing I
no.
know about Georgia.
Well, my wife's oldest brother, he lives south of Atlanta,
Okay.
and we visited him a few times in the
Gotcha.
last few years. But I think that he lived close to that,
Yeah.
or maybe in that same town. I mean, it just that I just remember south of Atlanta. Okay,
yeah.
continue. Sorry.
Oh,
What
that's
made you? Oh, what made you want to move to Georgia?
My sister lives here.
Mhm.
And this is where I have my second house with her. So this will be my third house. The
Okay.
second
Cool.
with her, I'm just an equity owner on that house.
Uh-huh.
Um, and my sister has a boy that we love, the only grandson of my mom, and she wanted to stay close. And
Yeah.
I actually did a market analysis in Conyers, and I looked that there were a lot of retirees moved into this area, in between like Florida, coming from north. I would say they moved to Georgia, and so the retirement community has grown.
Where did you
And
get that data?
I Google it.
Okay. Okay. Easy
That
It's
was
enough.
on the internet.
Yeah, I know it's on the internet, but I'm asking these questions because, like, if someone's like, okay, how do I get into a retirement community, or what's a good, like, I don't know, how
Yeah,
should they get into a market? You know, we
sure.
only know North Idaho. We don't do anything else.
Well, I get it. And the biggest thing I remember, I did like market analysis on also Marietta, which is another community suburbs of Atlanta. Um, yeah, I just saw the job market growth here in Atlanta for the past, I don't know, 4 years or so.
Yeah,
Cool.
The
nice.
industries that have come in here. And so it's like, okay, what else is driving the economy here? And what else is, who else is moving here?
Mhm.
Saw that a lot of retirees are moving here. It's true. I walked around and I was like, oh, yeah. And again, I stayed true to my whole house hacking strategy from Denver. I
Mhm.
bought this house, which is less than situated less or located, I should say, less than a mile away from the hospital here in
Nice.
Conyers.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Travel nurses again. If I mean now that I'm with my mom, but like once I move out, like the retirement prop community can come and move in as with her. So
Was it hard to find travel nurses this time around, or was it pretty easy? Or
I haven't started yet. I just got
oh,
this
okay.
house less than I just closed on June 30th. So
Nice.
Well,
Yeah,
congratulations. That was pretty
congratulations.
okay.
yeah,
Pretty
I
fresh.
yeah, pretty fresh. Yeah. And so I normally what I do in a house hack property, I go in and I take me like a month because I do this on my own. Like I renovate or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and I document a journey. Now I'm doing TikTok lives and I
Oh, yeah.
document things like do every single room.
Nice.
I hope is to like now that I'm back from Puerto Rico because I was traveling too as well. I can post it and see how it goes. So I will give you an update as soon as
Yeah,
I get it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is your third property. You're an equity owner in your other property. Can we talk about that as well?
Sure.
Yeah. So walk us through kind of how you're an equity owner in a property. Like, how did that
Yeah,
happen?
and how you structured it
Yeah.
too.
Sure. Well, it's more like helping the family.
Hmm.
Like we stay together, we stick together. That's one of the principles that my mom taught us. Like
Yeah.
with three siblings, so it's like we help one another. In order to help her, they're buying a second house, which by the way, she owns the mortgage.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I don't any of the mortgage. So we just did a deal, and again, I Google it how to like do a home equity, like or not home equity, but an equity agreement. And the idea came from one of my friends who's a realtor in Denver. His name is Brian Balducci. So if he gets to be mentioned, I'll give him some props for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, "Hey, so how do you do this? How do you go into an agreement with somebody to get some equity if you do gift because you do gift money?"
Yep.
Uh, and so he's like, "Oh, just Google, equity agreements." And here I was Googling stuff like I always do. And so I found a template that I can sign with her. And then that's how I became an equity owner.
Okay. So you gifted your sister money. Is that what I heard?
A gift. I don't know
Okay.
if it's
And it was
money
Because she got the mortgage.
because you got the mortgage. Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
or mortgage. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
For down payment. I should say that. It goes more
Gotcha. I was like,
payment.
does that only work with family or would that work with other people as well? Like if Nick and I were to do an equity agreement, like would I
Yeah.
gift you money or
I think it depends on the loan, but I think it
yeah.
usually does have to come from an immediate relative,
Okay.
I believe.
Gotcha.
At least for the
I
first
could be
time.
I
I
could be
may
wrong
be wrong
about that.
too, but I think it's for the first time home because she was also a first time home buyer.
Sure.
Um,
Okay.
that's how it became to be. And then I got added to the title later. But I
Yeah.
knew,
Yeah, you add yourself later.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. And so I do know that I've seen equity partnerships where one individual, of course, brings the capital,
Hmm.
which means me. And then the other brings the labor or puts in the handles the operation business side of that deal.
Yep.
The biggest thing that I learned so far from the Denver community for house hackers is that they do cooperate and work together. It
Yeah.
it takes courage to do that
Yeah.
and trust,
So being
So
in that position, did you have you yet added yourself to the insurance policy as an additional insured?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, great.
yeah.
Cool.
And even the state record. Oh, that was a whole big thing with this house because they're
Hmm.
like, well, you show because I'm in the records. I'm like, we got to have proof that you're not on the mortgage because at that point, then I'll be in three mortgages.
Right.
Yeah.
And the DTI will come into play, of course.
Yep.
They're like, "Oh, didn't pay for three mortgages." I'm like, "No, I'm only paying for this one." So that
So
was a
what
big
is DTI for those that
debt
don't
to
know?
income ratio.
Okay.
It allows you. It's the analysis of how much debt you have in order for you to, um, sorry, ratio against your income.
Yep.
Are you able to afford?
Gotcha.
Yep.
So it's how lenders
Yeah.
know how much they can qualify somebody for a mortgage. Your
Right.
debt to income. Okay. Got it.
Cool.
Cool.
Do you mind sharing the numbers on that? So how much money did you put into this deal, and how
Yeah.
much percent equity owner are you
On this one or
on the one with your sister?
oh, that one, I think the house, trying to remember the numbers because that was also 3 years ago. Um, I'm a 40% equity owner. Trying to remember how much she bought it for. I think
Okay.
2.8.
And are you getting monthly payments for that, or is that when she sells the house, you get cashed out?
When she sells the house, it gets cashed out.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Because Nick and I, we do equity partnerships as well. We can structure them a little bit differently because normally when we do them is at the start of a deal where we both go in together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll do a joint venture agreement typically. But it might just be my LLC that owns it, but then we have a contract that you eventually have equity in it
Yep.
with the joint venture.
Yeah.
But
So what's next for you?
Great question. I'm currently in between jobs and trying to find something that aligns with the real estate investing community. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the passions. Um, I don't know if I should say this. I'm about to be 40 soon. And so I thought if
So
I
will
don't
we.
happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the best one. Yeah. And
I
I
got
said,
like 1 year and a little bit of change now.
yeah, yeah. No, for me it's like 5 months or so. But
That's
I
okay. Yeah.
was it and I, I have more of a Christian values, but I said, hey, if God wants me to do something, He will guide me to the right path, I should say.
Mhm.
Um, but at this point, I'm in between. So
Yeah.
path, so if you want to call it that way. But
So your options are open.
I'm afraid so. One of the biggest things I noticed about journey, I'm sharing my journey, and
Mhm.
I if you have followed me on Instagram and I have some, some followers in TikTok,
Yeah.
is that being a female house hacker, I think it has inspired others to do the same. Even
Yeah.
my own renters, my own housemates
Yeah.
have come to me and say, "Hey, teach me how to do this." One of my closest friends, that's how she became a friend, and she got a house and she just opened this tenant placement business. And I was like, "Oh my God, look at that!" I was
Yeah.
teaching her how to do this, and she became into this thing. And so all of that to say is like I think what inspires me to do this is sharing my journey helps other people,
Yeah.
to say, "Hey, I
Absolutely.
too." So, um, and again, I don't know what I'll do next, but you would definitely know. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
I think it's cool that like you've got this mentor, right? And you've had this mentor for a little bit, and now people are starting to look up to you for the things you've done as well. So like this all kind of trickles downhill, and it's really cool to start seeing this growth of everybody in your community and like all your following. Like I think it's a magical journey doing this stuff.
Reaganomics.
Reaganomics, correct? Is that what that
That's
is?
your telltale.
Okay,
Just
I'm like,
saying.
dude, I don't know. I'm going to agree with you because you sound smart sometimes.
Trickle down economy.
It's the trickle down effect, though. Yeah, exactly. So, and I guess like I'm gonna kind of shape this question a little bit back more into it as well. Do you plan on buying more houses? Do you plan on getting into commercial? Do you plan on just continuing doing house hacking? I know you're in between jobs, but what's your real estate journey looking like? If you could narrow that into a couple things.
Sure. So in the beginning, when I first started this journey, I was like, I want to have 5 houses by the time I'm 40.
Cool.
And I only got 3 now so far. And like the timeline is kind of
You're
short.
doing great though. By
You
the
have
way, like,
5 months.
yeah.
You're fine. And you live in Georgia, and there's deals out there if you really need them. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, take your time and just if I can give you any advice, is just don't worry about trying to hit a certain quota that you gave yourself.
Yeah.
And just make sure you just do the process correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. And
That's good advice.
I think one of the biggest things that you just mentioned was that what to do, what area to go next. Last night I had an epiphany moment. I was looking for jobs,
Okay.
the real estate market. And I said, well, based on my skills, what I can do, because I was an auditor, I was there for 13 plus years and whatnot,
Mhm.
I obligated, and an accountant as well. And I have a degree in accounting. And so I said, okay, based on the skills that I used to do, like I managed tenants and I did the revenue forecasting for that property and everything else.
Mhm.
What else to go into? And I literally had this epiphany where it's like I put things on my Gemini, I should call them. And I say, based on the skills in this resume, can I go into property management for commercial real estate? And they said, yes, you can. And I was like, well, deal. So after this podcast, that'll be the next project to update my resume and see if I can apply for commercial real estate property management. Because I
Nice.
think in commercial real estate, I think it's less than 3% that is represented by females.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I can break into that and do, yeah,
Yeah.
some of that. So
So
we'll
you're
see.
gonna do property management, and then that sounds like I always thought that'd be kind of
With
fun
commercial.
with
In
commercial.
commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody told
That's a
me,
niche.
another, it is a niche. I think I think Aviva, which is another mentor in Denver community, and Gabrielle Simmons, I think you might have heard of them as well. They're into the commercial real estate space. And I
hmm
was like, well, if, again, inspire other females. I was like, if they do it, I can do it as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like what they told me from commercial that is different from residential, um, everything is done in business hours.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's true. That's what I love about working with investors. Because I've been a real estate agent for 15 years, and I slowly gravitated towards just wanting to work with investors over time,
Mhm.
over probably by year 5 or so. And I remember hearing a podcast and somebody mentioned, working with investors is just amazing because 90% of the realtors, your competition out there, don't want to deal with them.
Yep.
And also, there's a good, almost the same amount are tire kickers as regular home buyers or sellers. But if you get a small pocket of clients that are investors, and they're commercial minded, like you said, they stick to business hours because it's their job,
Right.
and they're not going to be calling you on the weekends freaking out or after hours, and it's totally normal. You don't have to have this chaotic lifestyle of most realtors where they're showing properties on the weekends and answering calls at 8 p.m. or else, because everybody's dealing with the most emotional, biggest expense of their lifetime,
Yeah.
versus if all your clients are this is just their job. It could also just be your job too.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go on the emotional roller coaster that everybody else is on. And you have way less competition. And you don't need as many clients because they'll do multiple deals a year. And it's true. And it took a while to kind of make a full on shift into mostly that field.
Yeah.
But working with investors is much better than most people think it is. And you just nailed it as far as business hours. That's huge. It's an
Yeah.
absolute huge thing to be able to come home, especially if you have a family, and put the phone away at like 4 or 5 o'clock and don't pick it up again till the next morning. And you're not going to lose any business out of it.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing you just mentioned that struck me was that, or stuck with me, I should say, was the fact that you have the shared common mindset.
Yeah.
Like you can bring solutions to them
hmm
because you have lived through it and go through it. And by adding that solutions to them, like you can just do it within that time frame and you don't have to worry about other things, you know? So
True.
I love it. Cool.
Yeah.
So that's your next journey. Again, like Nick said earlier too, like you had this vision that you wanted 5 houses. I think you need to cut yourself a little bit of slack and zoom out a little bit.
Celebrate the 3 you got.
Celebrate your 3 you got, because not only do you have 3,
Yeah.
you have a rent by the room situation in a couple of them. So if we're talking about units, you surpassed 5.
actually, yeah, if I rent by the room, yes, you're right.
Because I mean, technically, like when somebody's like, "Oh, I own an apartment building," they don't say, "I own an apartment building." They say, "I own 400 units."
That is very true. Doors, they call
Yeah,
my
the doors,
Yeah.
400 doors, right? So
doors. Yeah.
Depends on
Yeah.
how pompous they are.
yeah, it depends on how pompous they are. But I'm just saying, like, zoom out. You've done cool things, and you've got the right mindset, and you've got the drive for this. So like, and it's okay to set lofty goals sometimes, because I think that allows you to like strive for something, and even if you didn't get it, you're like, oh, cool, I made it 80% up the ladder. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you had a goal of buying 2 houses, maybe you would have just bought 1.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have high goals.
Yep.
And then, just achieve what you can.
I appreciate that. No,
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
for the advice. That's very
Yeah.
true. I think it also feels you grounded. Keeps you grounded, right?
does.
And feel like content. Because I think a lot of the things that happened, at least with now that we have social media, we
Mhm.
tend to compare ourselves to other people.
It's yes.
Like, oh my God, they have, I see Jeff White, he has like 11, properties. And like, well, he started like, 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Right.
And so it's like, I strive, I see these people and I say, the whole joke is like, I want to be you when I grow up.
Yeah.
And, and then I'm like, and they do keep me grounded. It's like, well, look at the things you've done by yourself. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I have partners, sometimes I have own individuals. And the things like that I learned the most is like, I was doing this by myself. And so it's like, oh, it took me only 3 years.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's really good.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I'm guilty of it too. Like, I always zoom out and I'm like, man, I haven't done anything in real estate. And I have this mindset, but like my own mind kills me sometimes, and I zoom out. And I'm like, dude, I've done like 15
Yeah, you've
deals.
done a lot. You've done more. You've done more than most people that show up to the meetups.
Right. But I just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's that entrepreneurship drive to be more for myself, not only for me, but for the people around me, of course. Because I think the better I am, the better the people around me are going to end up liking me, for one, and being as well. So it's like we all grow together. Any final thoughts before we kind of get into the wind down questions, Nick?
No,
No?
I'm good.
Okay.
How about, is there anything that we didn't cover?
No, we cover a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
No, it's
you.
great talking to you for sure. We do have a couple of just predetermined questions that we ask all of our guests. We haven't had a guest in. You're our first guest, by the way, in like 6 months, so thank you.
No, we had a guest maybe a month ago.
We don't get a ton of
It
them.
was Trace.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we had Trace.
That feels like more than a month ago.
Yeah, it was about a month.
Okay. Anyway, we ask our guests a question at the end of the episode. If you had one real estate book or business book you'd recommend every single investor read, what would it be?
Oh, for me, it would be the House Hacking book by Chris Lopez.
Okay.
That would be it. If
There
you're
you
into house hacking.
Yeah,
But-
if you're into house hacking, for sure.
Yeah, but if like, I think the golden one that everybody mentions and it's very true is the Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mhm.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Don't
Like,
say rich dad, poor dad.
I know there's no I went like with the house hacking one because
Yeah.
that was the niche I went into, and I think going back to what what it was mentioned earlier was like how you get into the niches. Like
Mhm.
the riches are in the niches, so that would
Yeah.
be the one for me.
I love it. Some people do come on and they say rich dad, poor dad, and there's nothing wrong with that answer. Like it is one of the holy bibles of
Yeah.
like real estate.
Wasn't that one of
investing.
the first books that you actually listened to on,
Yeah.
some sort of a money topic?
Yeah, it was probably the first one. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
again, but like I go back and I reread that book probably once or twice a year just to kind of kickstart and like, okay, this is how I need to be thinking about money. And it just kind of gets me back into that mindset. So
Yeah, that'll be the one. And I think actually Chris Lopez like published it every single year, and I published twice in that same edition
nice.
where he crowdsource investors to share the story,
Nice.
and we go into the details of the deal analysis. And so I'll look for that on Amazon as well.
That's a good business model. You take something you've already written and then you rewrite it a little bit and charge people the same amount.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a good business.
Second edition.
Yep, second edition. We're on the 5th edition of the same book, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-huh.
Second question for you is if you had $30 million gifted to one of your bank accounts, what's the first thing you would spend it on?
Oh, that's
You'd do a Bad Bunny meet and greet, wouldn't you?
no. That'd be the last
Bad Bunny.
thing. I would definitely, pay the mortgages off, and
Okay.
I would take care of my mom. I want
Mhm.
her to retire. That would be the first thing I would do. The second one would be to build more like an orphanage or more like a daycare in Honduras for single
Nice.
moms. My mom was a single mom, raised her kids.
Yeah.
All her, her kids are graduate students, master's degrees, and own houses now. And
Yeah.
I want them to have the same, not same, but more privileges that I did. And then, the Bad Bunny meet and greet, of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. You get him to live at your house for that money. Third question is if there was, let's go with this one. How do you define success?
Mm, that's a hard one. Okay, let me think about it. For me, success when I was younger, it used to be when I would meet my goal, and not only meeting the goal, but succeeding at it.
Yeah.
Like if I had a goal, let's say I wanted to have a GPA of 4 or whatever the case may be, it was like, okay, let me be the best I can at this particular class. As I grew older, I think success was defined by knowing that I was content and happy at the projects I was working on.
Yeah.
And even though there were some failures in it, because there were so many failures at the house hacking property, the first one,
Sure.
I learned from them, and then I pivot from those learning mistakes, and then made it better, better next time. So, in completion, I always say, I don't know how to say this, but success for me is defined where true happiness is it's there,
I love it.
regardless of whatever external factors are going on. But if you find true happiness in whatever you do,
Mhm.
then you're successful.
I love it. Were you gonna say something there?
I shouldn't.
Okay. Okay.
You can, you
With
can.
were you a straight A student?
I was. One of the things that I didn't fail to mention, I got a full ride scholarship based on my
Wow.
performance to go to Brown University. Then one selected in my country
Nice.
that year.
Nick was a pretty good student too. I graduated high school with a 1.2.
No, you didn't.
I swear to you.
Yeah.
I swear to you.
But he always read better and stuff. I graduated with a 4.0, but I was not smart.
Yeah.
But I was able to just like accomplish tasks if I could focus on things if I wanted to.
Focus was not my strong point.
Yeah, but I could barely read.
Right. You still barely can.
I was okay with math.
Nope. I graduated with a 1.2. I had to do summer school as a senior, and even then they're like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Chart says no, and I finally got them to pass me, so that was cool.
Like-
But that goes to show, like, these grades when you're younger, they don't necessarily define who you are, because I was kind of an idiot. I was a screw around in high school. I still kind of am.
That's okay.
It's
At
okay.
least
Yeah.
you get along.
I always say they don't define you. I think what it is, like it's always the mindset. Like,
Yeah.
and then what I learned too was what interests you. It's what you will actually become more proficient at.
Yeah.
Like if you're not interested, like you were interested in math, and I was interested in math, but I was like, okay, I can turn into real estate investing, but I'm not interested in biology whatsoever. So if I were to be in that field, I would have failed because I'm not interested in it. So
Yeah.
True.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you would give to every single real estate investor who's maybe just trying to get their first or second house?
first, I think you do the research.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by research, I don't mean like the whole hypothesis and everything else. By research, I mean if you're interested in something, go deep dive into that.
Yeah.
I was interested in house hacking because I was doing it alone. But if I'm in a position where I can have partners, then learn how to do deal analysis and dive into that subject.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get so overwhelmed in real estate investing because, like, especially with bird pockets, there are so many ways.
Yeah.
You can not only just make money, but also be successful in these realms. And so sometimes when you specialize in one area, you can be very proficient at it, and then you can be good at it. So
We talk about that a lot. We talk about the shiny object syndrome in real estate investing, like, and it's pretty common, unfortunately. But like, I think what you're saying, niching down and finding something you care about and you're passionate about and you want to learn more about, and just as deep diving in. And just to add one thing on top of that, I would say deep dive, but also take action, because I think people can get caught in analysis by paralysis. So
Sure.
deep dive, but like actually like make intentional steps to get to your next level.
I was
Word.
gonna say you have to take action.
Word.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Thanks for
No,
your
you
input, Nick.
That's me agreeing.
Yeah. Last question for you is it's a two-part question. So where can people find out more about you, and what do you like to do with your free time?
Sure. They can find me on Instagram, and TikTok.
Okay.
That's where I post my journey as a house hacker, and I've been doing it for the past 3 years. What I do in my spare time, home renovations, hence
Home
the
reno-
wallpaper.
Yep.
So I do trade content as I do, and travel. I like to travel.
Where's your favorite place to travel?
Oh, that's hard. I think Amsterdam was fun.
Nice.
Belgium was kind of nice. Belgium was very quaint. Prague was one of my favorite cities, and Puerto Rico just now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
You are traveling. I love it.
It's a lot of travel.
Yeah, in the last 3.5 years. Yeah.
Still pretty good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We barely leave Idaho.
What, camping?
You went camping. Yeah. I went camping this weekend. No big deal.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Hey, well, that is, I think that wraps it up. Irina, thank you again for joining us today. Nick, thanks for always being the amazing host you are.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad I could be here and really give my input.
You did great.
I'm
You
just
did
kidding.
great. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I do
You both
need
did
that
great.
affirming care here.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of affection every
Just
now and then.
kidding.
We got to let him know that he did a good job. So
Everyone has to. Now it's about me.
Now,
Just kidding.
we have a guest today, Nick. You can't be like,
It doesn't matter.
Nope.
This is the Nick show.
It is the Nick show. It's the Nick show with us as guests. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Irina. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for sharing your story. And we look forward to seeing what you do here in the near future. And I hope things go well for you in Georgia.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're going to take this out of here. Irina, don't take off yet because we got to make sure everything's uploaded. But thanks so much for joining the Investor Shed podcast, and we will see you again next week for the next episode.
Later.
Thank you so much for checking out the Investor Shed podcast. If you enjoyed your time, make sure to leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow along on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at The Investor Shed for shorts and promos about each episode. Do you want to be a guest or know someone who has great real estate investing advice and stories? Reach out to us at theinvestorshed@gmail.com.